Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Celebrity Cars. And the 1979 L78 400 4-speed Trans Am in gold. This is an incredibly well-preserved vehicle. It has undergone a mechanical restoration. There is some original paint left on the car. I don't know which is the original paint, but I'll tell you right now, a couple things. Let's just get a couple things right away out of the way. This is, guys, when you're looking for Trans Ams, guys, girls, when you're looking for Trans Ams, this is the one that you want to find. The interior was completely out because an upgraded stereo system was put in, and the seats were out, and the carpet was out. And the original floorboards still being gold and brand new paint as like it came off the assembly line was striking, because you don't really find that ever anymore. So there you go for the foundation of the car. Now, yes, these aren't original wheels. The original wheels come with the car. Also, because I'm pretty much telling you that the only thing needed remaining on this car, honest to John, is just a few gaskets, like around the trunk. They're not awful, but in order to get it really concrete, is just a few gaskets on this Trans Am and a paint job. A paint job on one of these isn't terribly expensive, especially on a gold one. It's not a black car, okay? So it's not terribly expensive, but what you want to find in one of these 1979 Trans Ams with this particular drivetrain in it, which is the most sought after, the most horsepower you could get, 4-speed, L78, you really can't go wrong. But finding one in this terrific since 1979 condition is very difficult to do, especially with original paint on it. The miles, oh boy, the miles. Hold on. Folks, this car has 29,200 miles on it. Not since restoration, not since nothing. It's got under 30,000 original miles on this Trans Am. Could you take it to a car show and your local car meet? Of course you could, without a paint job, because you could say it's got some original paint on it. But in a couple locations, doesn't match up completely. Forgive me for saying this, but it's kind of like a who cares with this particular Trans Am, because the foundation of it is so good. There's zero rust. I mean, I removed the carpet in the trunk, and underneath the carpet's that little bit of surface stuff and the crud left over from the carpet. It's not rust. You're not getting ready to put your hand through the floor. Wait till you see the undercarriage video. It's gonna knock your socks off. Now, there's so much detail to this car, and because I didn't grow up taking these Trans Ams apart and putting them back together again, unfortunately, I don't know all these details, but you can find them out very easily. A very extensive write-up on this Trans Am at celebritycars.com. So please go there, please read all about it, please watch the undercarriage video, and so on and so forth. Now, let's get down into detail here, because I'm your living, breathing condition report here at Celebrity Cars. And let me just talk about what's left as far as this paint and the outside and its appearance. We've got this, OG cowl here. Little to no wear on it, just a little bit of patina to it as you turn your head in the lights and you see, a little bit of paint change to it. But that's all part of the paint job, that quote unquote, if you want this to be super, 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 all it needs is one of those. So I could tell this hood has been painted at some point, because I see little blips in the paint here and there from a little bit of dust in the air when it was painted. But I've already filled out all that scoop and told you all about all that. Let's, yeah, there's a little mark right there. These little steel cars, they're big steel cars, gonna have little blemishes here and there. But again, this is just stuff that would be rectified in a paint job. While we're here though, Quincy, I really wanted to point out the windshield, the black piece around the windshield, which is in great shape, just a little patina to it. And look at the top of the dash. It's just an absolutely beautiful shape. And then let's get up here to the nose, because this is where I normally start things up here. And just from standing back there, Quincy, you know, you see this nose and it's awesome. And then you get really close and you see little things like this, and then little things like this, and a little thing right there. There's a really small little mark right here. I think no, that's not one there. And then over here on this side, see this had a little touch-up paint put on it. I'm going to say it again, and forgive me. I already told you it needed to be painted, but in the meantime, it's a great big who cares. Is there a great big chunk taken out of the corner of the bumper over here? Is this getting ready to fall off like most of them? These black moldings in here all in one piece. They don't have any of their grills taken out of it. Underneath, all the way down on the bottom, this is about as original down here as you can get. There's a little patina to it, rubbing against the curb or two. Can you get down just to share that one real quick? I know we do it in undercarriage video and stuff like that, but I just want everybody to see it. I'm thinking I might not have even done an undercarriage video yet, but it'll take a couple minutes to do. So if you see this video first, you don't see the undercarriage video, give us a call and say, hey Scott, where the hell's my undercarriage video? I get it, sorry. I can't remember if I did it or not. Okay, here's another small blemish right here that had some touch-up paint on it as well. Now, as I stand up here, I don't see any splitting per se, you know, like the spider webbing. And even if I did, you're supposed to paint it. Okay, the bird's in beautiful shape. Does it have imperfections in it? Sure, but barely. It's beautiful shape. The rest of all this up here. Again, I can continue to see a little bit of the speckles in the gold when you know, the hood was resprayed, but it's really a bunch of nothing. There's another small little chip right here, but again, it's just another great big who cares. There's a little one right here. There's a couple right here that had touch-up paint put on it. Here's a couple little more marks right here. But folks, they're all so subtle. I don't want to say they're all over the place. They're not all over the place. But regardless, again, they're all very subtle. And for a car to be sitting around since 1979, it's been in climate-controlled collections ever since the last gentleman that owns it now, that basically took all this apart, replaced seals, all the hoses, shined up a couple parts. He had the windshield washer sucker sent off to the other side of the country and rebuilt and resprayed so it looks beautiful. I mean, so much detail went into this. Wait till you pop the hood and we get to see underneath here and how authentic it really is. You know, small blemish right here. Folks, I really hate to pick on this car. I'm not going to do it. There are no bumps. There are no, these cars are notorious for having rust all over the damn place. You know that. You know that. And that's why you're still watching this video, because this one doesn't. It's not up here. There's no Bondo down here. There's none of those things. I'm not even sure this side of the car was ever painted. But then again, I can't tell which has been painted and which hasn't. Gold is pretty easy to match, believe it or not. Okay. Now the trim down the sides. This driver's side trim is beautifully straight all the way down to the front, except right here. There's a little slight bow to it, right here. You can barely see it. And that's something that easily be fixed once this car is taken apart and get ready for paint. So yes, I mentioned earlier, before I forget, geez, an entire set of these decals do go along with the car, because the plan was to paint it. And then you have the decals and it's ready to go. So decals come along and the original wheels. I don't know about the tires, but the original wheels. All back here, this rear gasket, all the way around the rear windshield, is just in fabulous condition. New speakers were put in. The seats are in terrific shape. Look back here. This is, folks, come on, you know. All this is always loaded with crap and crud from rain coming down here and rusting through it. It's all bulging out. It's all awful. None of that, because this hasn't sat outside in the rain. Hasn't played in the rain. That's the reason why it still looks the way it does. This whole rear spoiler here all lines up real nice. Is it perfect? No, but it all lines up really nice. If it was really bad, I'd be pointing it out to you. Small little ding doohick right there. Reflectors are all in good shape. Like I said, there's no bumps or cancer of any sign showing up here whatsoever. All right, let me look at this back here. A reason why I mentioned back here as far as some of the gaskets go, when I open up the trunk in a couple minutes, you'll see just the gasket could be a little happier. I'm pretty sure they're pretty darn easy to get. Somebody can get them for you and get them back on there. This rear bumper it's just slight blemishes to it. There's a couple right here. There's a really light one or two here, really light one over here. This piece here? Well, I think hey. Well, it's a little better now, isn't it? That's where you put the gas in. That's where you put your key to open the trunk. Quincy's a young guy behind the camera, folks. He wasn't around 1979, so it's okay. He doesn't need to know these things. This door is fine, folks. It's got a little, come on. I'm sure these doors are not very easy to deal with. All right, a little bit of dirt's gone, a little bit of dirt's gone. Yeah, sorry, we're in dusty Las Vegas, folks. The things get dusty around here real quick. But this is great shape. There's no great big jab back here. Like I said earlier, there's no big abrasion for driving into the park or the side of the garage. You know, none of those things. And then you look at this molding down here. Quincy, just give a cruise down this molding so folks at home can just see how freaking perfect it is. It's just unbelievable. Side mirrors are in great shape. It's not all dinged up. It's not all wobbled up. You look down the side of the car, it's great big sheets of metal. So of course there's gonna be a little bit to it. But man, I've seen them, they've been so terrible, all the way down the side of the car. It's beautiful, just beautiful. You gotta know the difference, folks. You gotta know the difference. That's just crud. Is that just crud? Small little thing right there, but I think it's just partially just crud. You see this gasket here? I'm talking about when you paint it. You might want to replace a couple of these gaskets, but they're not bad. Okay. Obviously these wheels don't have any curb rash on them. They're probably pretty darn new. Tires are in fabulous shape. And then you come all the way up here to the front again. Right here, I got a little mark right here and a little mark right here in the hood. I hope you're appreciating, folks, the pointing out of these marks. It's not like I'm skipping over others. The ones that you can blatantly see without me just completely tearing this car apart, which is totally unfair. These are just a couple of those little small locations right here. Okay. I see a couple little black speckles right here. I'm not really sure if they could be detailed out or not. Okay. All right, let's open some doors. Let's do that first. Folks, get a look at this. This is 1979. You can't get a whole lot better as far as an interior, all original. There's no funny smells in here. I saw this car personally, folks, with the seats out and the carpet out. And I saw him run the cables for his new, this is looks kind of sort of stock for a half second, but you plug your phone into it and you've got the world. And it even has a speaker system in here where you can do hands-free talking as well. I'd like a little bit of technology to be in here, and for you folks down the road, use it or don't use it. The center console, look at the center console. There's not a chip in it, there's not a rip in it, there's not a tear in it. The little button here works just terrific. The center console is super clean, super clean. Just a little paperwork left in there. I'll remove all that later. But it's all in fabulous shape in here. The seat belt, the seats are outstanding. There's no rips in them whatsoever. The seat belt's in great shape. The plastic hook up here. Quincy, it's very. So many of these parts, Quincy, they break, and they're not that easy to get. And to be able to purchase one of these cars and having it like all intact is a really big deal. So just make sure the camera like really, this dash, I mean, it's unbelievable. The steering wheel, the carpet down here, in the door jambs. Look at this in the door jambs in its original gold. This is a little scratch stuff from getting in and out of the car. Sorry, folks. Here's another great big who cares. Still got the Fisher thing on it. You could take this off, send it to your favorite detailer, and shine the crap out of this, so there's nothing going on here. All this is just awesome inside all these door jambs. All these moldings back here for the sidewalls are in great shape. Ashtrays are still there. Headliner's in superb shape. There's a small mark on the seatbelt housing over there on that side. Don't know what happened there, but you know, it is what it is. Look at this door. Still has the Trans Am emblem right in here. Door didn't fall off yet. Carpet's on here. I'm gonna grab this and shake it. It's all sturdy on here completely. I think all these motors were replaced for the windows. So this was all taken apart and put back exactly the way they're supposed to be. I'll give you a little hint if you're still hanging out here. The gentleman that did this has done this to many, many Trans Ams. He's taken them apart, fixed all the terrible stuff, and put it back together again the way they should be. And he's very local. He's actually on the other side of that wall. So if you got any questions, any other little details about it, you can give us a call and we'll find out. But please read all about it at celebritycars.com. Not everything is original, and anything that was done to it was just to make the car a little bit better. I've driven this car. This 4-speed is just sick. This thing sounds incredible. Board straight, the steering, no wobbling. I mean, you can't really get any better. You see these for sale all over the place all the time, and nobody gets into this detail, and then you send them your $46,000, your $50,000, whatever, and you get it, go, oh, this needs to be replaced. Oh, that needs to be done. Oh, God, this thing rattles. Oh. None of that on this one. None of that on this one. All that stuff's been pretty much fixed. Inside the passenger side door, it's just absolutely beautiful. Make sure you check out the pictures. Okay, now, let's do it. Here it is. Air conditioning. I remember looking at this engine bay, folks, and the entire engine was out. This engine was on a stand. He was blowing smoke into it for a pressure test to see if any smoke came out of the side. That's how wackadoodle, nerdy, make sure this car is completely done the exact way it's supposed to be done, and no ifs, ands, or buts. And that's what was done with this vehicle. Incredibly super cool. Quincy, do me a favor, because I'm pretty sure we didn't get a photograph of that. Can you get that legible on there for just a moment? Because I know everybody at home going, is this a real gold car? Is it a real WS6 car? Is it a real 4-speed car? There you go. Isn't that amazing? Now, the reason why I tell you these little secrets, folks, again, if you're still hanging out with me, is because we have photographs of the engine out of the car. We have all these proof, all this stuff that can help you decide whether this is the Trans Am that you want to take on and drive and enjoy at car shows and car meets every weekend, or if you, and place, okay? Or if you want to win the car show, let's go get a paint job. All right, now I was talking about this back here. You look at all these cavities back here. I'm pretty sure we're looking at original gold in here. And this is the one gasket I was mentioning. I mean, the rest of it's real nice all the way around. It's just right here, this might be something I would want to, well, you know, probably on top of that, you probably want to leave it alone. But we got a car cover or two in here. Got this black carpet back here. This is what I was referring to underneath the carpet. This is just carpet goo. You can see this original metal here, and just a little bit of this, you know, surface stuff. A little bit of paint chip peeling right here. But folks, that's it. Like I mentioned, wait till you see the undercarriage video of this car. Yeah, we didn't grab a spray paint and spray all up in here to make it look like something it's not. This is OG, folks. It's a real original sticker underneath the trunk. Just incredible. I will get the undercarriage video done as soon as possible, folks, I promise. Photographs as well, so you can see underneath this bird, because it's really, really something. And the detail that went into all of it. Here's inside the doors here. Obviously, this is the original gold. You can see a little abrasions getting opening and closing the door, just a little bit of an alignment thing. But other than that, I mean, it closes perfect. What we're looking for is rust and crud and buildup and eating up seats and in the corners and where the rain comes down. It's all wonderful. Clothes is super nice. The fitment on one of these great big metal cars is just close to impossible. So as this line, the whole car lines up so darn well. Hopefully you'll be able to tell that from the photographs that were taken. Fun part time now. I get to go take this for a ride, drive your butts around the block in it, and you can hear and just hopefully you can feel it and hear it through the camera. But I get all worked up over cars like this, especially one in this rare condition. Again, yeah, okay, so it needs paint. It's ready for paint. Not like a bunch of body work needs to be done and all that kind of stuff. It's a cheap paint job. Or it's a cheap paint job to do. So anyway, look, I'm gonna hop in. We're gonna go for a drive around the block. Read up all about it at celebritycars.com if you don't get that far. Thanks. 1979 Trans Am. I'm inside. This is a very strong kid's dream of mine to own one of these cars. So one of these days I'll definitely get on the list and get one of these. Just sitting down here in this sport bucket seat and looking out over the hood. You got that Ram Air thing staring at you, and it's just this is a muscle car. Does it have 807 horsepower? No. There's much more appreciation going on here. Burt Reynolds comes to mind, and Smokey and the Bandit, and Black Ones, but you get it. The gauges, I believe the gauges are all very happy and they all work. I'm in reverse because that's the only way to get the key out. I'm teaching the guy behind the camera, Quincy there, that you all know and love as well. Yeah, if I just put this in, put the key out. Actually, hold on. Let's do this. I put it in neutral and I go take the key out. I can't get. I was just teaching you little things there, folks. That's good. You can't take the key out until you put the clutch in, and you put it in reverse, and you take the key out. Blah, blah, blah. So all that is still operational as well. Radial tuned suspension, one of the finest things in one of these cars. You're in these great big Trans Ams, and a couple of years ago we had one of these, and I took it home and I drove it around a little bit, and I had another one. And when you make left and right turns, and it's like on rails, great big car like this, that's a radial tuned suspension. It just works just so awesome. Okay, I'm gonna fire it up. Yep, my oil pressure said hello right away. I've had this on and off a little bit, so my temperature gauge does work because it is starting to creep up to 100, because really we just started a minute ago. Gas gauge works good. Voltage meter is very on the nose, and man, this car's awesome. Just awesome. Again, trying to keep my composure. Okay, clutch in, first gear, and it runs so outstanding. Clutch is coming out. I'm going to shut up for a second. All the way through to 4. I'm doing about 40. I'm going to hit the brakes here. 3, 2, and 1. Nothing locked up, and it stops like a brand new car. So that was awesome. Yeah, these things don't mess around, folks. They don't mess around when they're built properly and they're rebuilt properly, and they just run like an absolute dream. Clutch is back out. Here we go. Speed bump number 1. We've got 2 of them, if you've never watched before.
Wow.
Isn't that neat? At the little bit of the suspension leafs back there, they my 90s Firebirds and Camaros make the same noise. Very subtle. Very subtle. Yeah, I know. Yeah, you don't feel anything at all. There's keys bouncing around. Okay, back on the gas. I'm out on the street here. I'm going to shut up again. And if you could, the steering wheel, I am, the road's crappy, so forgive the road. Okay, foot's back on the brake. Brake pedal feels great. There's no weird wobble, kind of sort of feels new. Down into second gear. I do a little cul-de-sac turn here to make sure you don't hear any body panels rubbing. I only have car covers in the trunk, so nothing should be rolling around here whatsoever. Nice and super smooth. Yeah, living in Las Vegas, and you don't have too far to drive when you go to your employment and so on and so forth, or your daily activities. This is a perfect car to cruise around every day. This could totally be a daily driver. It doesn't even matter if it's 117 degrees outside. These cars are they're all prepped and ready to go to be able to handle things like that. Oh, so we might be stuck here for just a moment. Once again, celebritycars.com. The write-up on this car is something. And simply, if you're still here, I've said this 6 times now since filming this car. If you're still here and you have any other questions, we have the answers. We have all the answers. I didn't grow up living and breathing these cars and taking them apart, and even though I kick myself that I didn't do that, I just more appreciate them and, you know, point out scratches and stuff like that, and have a small collection of my own. But to have the guy that really knows a lot, if not everything about these cars, this is a great car to go through, Celebrity Cars. Just we have such a great connection with this car, and we really can get every answer that you want prior to purchasing this car. Pre-purchase inspections, knock yourself out. Give us a call. We're happy to handle that for you. But if you want it ready to go and all it needs is paint, caption should be for this car, all it needs is paint, because the rest of it's done. It's just an absolutely outstanding, beautiful car that drives unreal. Very difficult to find in this condition, folks. Okay, 702-818-1031. Give us a call, Andrew or Ryan. I'll be happy to answer any of your questions, and happy holidays. Thanks a lot.